Right guys, we have a range of questions from the Band 4 semi-final here today. Now, as we go through the questions, think this may help me for the final. And if you haven't made the final, get ready for September, because these are the type of questions that you should expect to see in the September challenges, or maybe for those lucky ones who've made it all the way to the final. So go through the questions with your teacher, with your mum or dad, and get yourself ready for the next round of the Challenge ME competition. Okay, one of our Band 4 semi-final questions. Jerry is thinking of a 2-digit number which is more than 27 but less than 34. Okay, more than 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, less than 34. So it must be one of these numbers that Jerry is thinking of, but there's more. More than 29, but less than 32. Okay, more than 29, so these guys are gone. But less than 32. Okay, well that's 32 and 33, they have to go. So our answer must be either 30 or 31. More than 30, but less than 41. I'm not even sure why they're even throwing that number in there, but more than 30, it's clearly 31. Now you've got to be careful, because students put the answer down as 31. But what you're asked was, what is the sum of the digits of Jerry's number? The actual sum of the digits is 3 plus 1, where the answer was 4. So guys, make sure you were reading the question carefully. Best of luck. Another Band 4 semi-final question. You may remember it. Amy buys 8 bags of cherries, and here is the amount of cherries in each bag. Now this is a pretty small bag, just 4 cherries, and then you have a monster bag here with 30 cherries. Now Amy, I'm going to draw a picture of Amy. She's going to share all these cherries with her 2 friends. So they all have an equal amount of cherries. So first up, we need to know how many cherries there are in total. Right, this is going to be a big addition, right? 4 plus 4 I know is 8, 9 plus 9 is 18, 19 plus 19, well 20 plus 20 is 40, take 1 away from each one, is 38, plus 20 and 30 is 50. Now I still have to add all them. 8 and 18 is 26, 38 and 50 is 88. Let's add them up together. Ooh, I'll add 12 on to 88, that gets me to 100, another 14 left over. Okay, 114. Now you could have done that a number of different ways, your addition. I'm just doing it a bit quickly here this morning. Now 114 cherries has to be shared out between Amy and her 2 friends. How many cherries will they get each? So we need to split this number 114 in 3 equal ways. The easiest way is division. Now have you done long division? 3 doesn't go into 1, but 3 goes into 11 3 times with a remainder of 2. 3 goes into 24, you've got it 6 times. So answer is they each get 36 cherries. Yeah. Right, another Band 4 semi-final question. Very, very difficult one here, guys. We have an equilateral triangle. Now, can you remember what an equilateral triangle is? It's the first one I ever remember doing in school. It's when all sides are the same length, and if all sides are the same length, all the angles are exactly the same. Remembering 180 degrees inside a triangle. So each angle must be 60, 60, 60. Now, the angle or triangle has been split exactly in half, which now means the angles are different inside this blue triangle. So first we need to work out is, what is the size of each angle in my blue shaded triangle? We obviously have a 90-degree angle there. I'll just make a note of that. Up here, let's do this one down here. what's the size of this angle? Well, this angle actually hasn't changed. It's still the same as each of the corners. So that's a 60-degree angle. So what's left over for this angle up here on the top? Well, it had been 60 and it got chopped in half. So now that angle is 30 degrees. Okay, now what the question asked in the semi-final was, what is the product of all these three numbers? Now, product is fancy for times. So what is 90 times 60 times 30? That is a huge number. Now, with multiplication, it doesn't matter which order you do them in. So I'm going to rearrange this question to 30 times 60 times 90. Now I'm going to show you a trick. Okay, 3 times 6 is what? It's pretty easy. It's 18. Now I ignored that 0 and that 0, so I better bring them back. I can just put them in there. Times by 90. So we have now 1,800 times by 90. Huge multiplication. But I've got a trick. I'm going to do 18 times 9. Okay, so what is 18 times 9? You could do it that way. You might like to do it as a grid in class. I'm going to split up the 18 to 10 and 8 and put the 9 over here. I quite like this way. 9 tens are 90 and 9 times 8 is 72. I can add them both together to give us a nice easy 162. So 18 times 9 is 162. Now how many zeros did I conveniently ignore? 1, 2, 3 zeros. I better add them back in. 1, 2, 3. So there's our answer, 162,000. We've got another Band 4 semi-final question here, guys. Now, you may remember Professor Gilbert. He's comparing numbers using inequality signs on his big whiteboard. And then one of his students, Shania, accidentally brushed off the board and rubbed out the numbers. Now, all Professor Gilbert knows is the numbers that were missing was an 8, a 1, and a 5. So we now have to place these numbers in this diagram to make the inequality correct. Now, do you know what an inequality is? Let me give you a good example of an inequality when I was at Atlantis Water Park with my son a few years ago, and we went up to the big water slide, and there was an inequality on the board. It said H greater than 125 centimeters. So this was the first time my son saw an inequality, and that told us that the height had to be bigger than 125 centimeters. He was gutted. He was 109 centimeters at the time, so he was no way going on the big water slide, even though he wanted to. Okay, so where should we place these numbers? This number is smaller than that number, and then this number is smaller than that one. I think you guys know it. We must have 17. That's clearly the smallest number. And next, 5 to make 57, and then finally put in 8 for 87. 17 is less than 57, which is less than 81. I think sometimes your teachers say how the small number eats the big number because they put some little crocodile teeth on the inequality signs. Another question from the Band 4 semi-final. Below, you will see 6 clocks. Now, you can see the first clock starts at 4 p.m. Then each of the clocks follows a certain pattern. Okay, look at those clocks very carefully. Now, here's the question. What time would be on the next clock, the 7th clock? Can you follow the pattern? So guys, I need your help here. I need you to comment below and tell me what time would be on the 7th clock. Best of luck.